Hi, I'm Holly. I'm a PhD student here at the Australian National University, and today I'm in one of our amazing student teaching labs here at the College of Science. Did you know that cooking and baking is basically science done at home? The benefit being you get to eat your end result. So let's grow our very own edible crystals. Crystal formation is an essential step in many chemical reactions, and we can replicate that process using sugar, water, and a little bit of patience. I'm in a lab today, but you can do this experiment at home using a hot plate instead of a heat stove and a saucepan. I'm going to show you how to make our crystals first, and then we're going to talk a little bit about how crystals are formed. The first step to our experiment is to soak our wooden skewer in some water, and then roll it in some sugar until it's well coated. If the sugar doesn't stick at first, just pop it back into the water and try again. You should get a nice amount of sugar crystals covering your stick. We're going to set that down so that that can dry and put it to one side because we'll need that later. Our next step is to make our sugar and water solution. So what we're going to do is we're going to heat up a cup of water on our hot plate here until it comes to a simmer. We're waiting for our water to simmer. I'll see you once our water has heated up. Now we're back and our water is simmering, so it's time to add our sugar. I'm going to be using 2.5 cups of sugar to 1 cup of water to make 1 crystal. If you'd like to make more than 1 crystal, you just need to make sure you maintain the ratio of 2.5 sugar to 1 water. So we're going to start adding the sugar 1 cup at a time, stirring each time until all of the sugar crystals have dissolved. It's going to take a little bit of patience here to make sure that all of our crystals have dissolved, but keep stirring until they have. Our first cup of sugar has dissolved, so we're going to add our second cup of sugar now. And again, keep stirring until all of the sugar crystals have dissolved. Okay. Our sugar is all dissolved now. We can tell by a couple of ways. The first is that we can't see any more crystals in our solution. The second is that our solution feels a little bit thicker when you stir it, almost like syrup. And the third is that our solution has become a little bit more clear than it was when we first added the sugar. So now it's time to turn up the heat on our hot plate and bring our solution to the boil. Our solution's boiling, so now is the time to add some food colouring if you have it at home. You don't have to. If you don't, your crystal will just be clear. I'm going to add a couple of drops of green food colouring. Stir that in and then turn off the heat. So we've turned our sugar solution off and let the boiling stop, and then carefully move your sugar solution off to one side, and we're going to let it cool down for 20 minutes. Now our sugar solution has been cooling off to one side for 20 minutes, so it's time to go and heat up the beaker or the jar that our sugar solution is going to be going into. This is where we're going to be growing our crystal. We want to run this under hot water until the jar becomes quite hot, because we don't want the jar to shatter when we add the sugar solution into it. I've run my glass jar under hot water to warm up the glass. So now it's time to pour our cooled sugar solution into our jar, making sure to leave a few centimetres clear at the top of the glass. Be very careful when you're pouring in your liquid, because even though we've let it cool for 20 minutes, it's still going to be very hot. Now that our solution is in the jar, it's time to add our sugar-coated skewer. To do this, first we're going to take a piece of tape and put it roughly across the middle of the jar. This is going to give our peg something to sit on when we secure our skewer. So we're going to take the skewer and put it onto the peg so that it's holding nice and securely onto the skewer, and then lower it into our solution. You can then check on your solution and see how far your skewer is from the bottom of the jar. You don't want it to be sitting too close to the bottom of the jar or to be touching the sides of the jar, because if it does, the sugar crystals could form to the sides and the bottom of the jar and make it very hard for you to get your sugar crystals out later. So now you can loosely cover the top of your jar with a bit of paper towel if you'd like to keep dust and other things from getting into your sugar solution, and set it aside somewhere safe where it won't be disturbed and out of direct sunlight so that your crystals can grow. This is where the patience becomes important. Growing crystals is a very slow process. You'll start to see your crystals forming after about a day or so, but you'll want to wait at least a week for your crystal to be big enough to pull out of the jar and potentially eat. You'll want to check in on your crystal every couple of days just to make sure that it isn't growing too close to the bottom of the jar, and if it is, just gently separate it from the bottom of the jar using a fork and position the skewer a little bit higher in your jar. So while our crystal grows, it's the perfect time to talk about some science. When you stirred the sugar into the hot water, the sugar was dissolved into sugar particles so small that you can't see them anymore, and you made a super saturated solution. This means that the sugar would only be dissolved in the water if both the sugar and the water were very hot. That's why we had to bring our water up to a simmer and then a boil while we were making our solution. As your super saturated solution cools, the teeny tiny sugar particles that are inside the jar that are continuously bumping into each other start to stick together. And that is how our crystal starts to grow. Now, the reason that we coated our skewer in sugar before we added it to the jar is because the sugar crystals on the jar will act as a kind of seeds for the crystals to grow on. They'll attract the other sugar particles in the jar as they begin to form and help stick them to the crystals on the skewer. That means that your crystal will grow on your skewer and not just all around in your jar. The sugar forms crystals because the smallest particles of a substance, known as the molecules, arrange themselves in a really orderly and repetitive pattern. And that's what forms the unique crystal shape. Other examples of crystals that you might have seen before are diamonds and salt. Now, before we end our experiment, I want to show you a couple of examples that I've made earlier. So let's set this one to one side. This is a sugar crystal that I started growing a couple of days ago. We can see that although the crystals have started to form, there's not that much growth yet. And so that's why it's really important to be patient and wait several days to start to see any major crystal growth. We can also see that the solution has sort of set around the top of the jar, and that's completely normal. That's a good sign that our sugar solution is correctly forming into crystals. So this is an example of sugar crystals that are working and are growing. And this is an example of what can happen if things go a little bit wrong. So what happened with this one, we can see that it's formed one giant sugar crystal on the bottom of the jar. And that's because my skewer was sitting too close to the bottom of the jar, and it's going to be almost impossible to get that sugar crystal out of the bottom of the jar without dissolving it in some water. If this does happen to you, that's completely fine. Just set the jar in some water and the sugar crystals should eventually enter back into solution and you'll be able to clean out the jar again. Hopefully you now have a really large crystal growing in your jar. If you'd like to pull it out and look at it or even eat it, what you'll need to do is, using a fork, just really gently separate the sugar crystals from the jar if they've gotten a little bit stuck. Pull the skewer out of the jar and set it to drip dry in an empty, clean jar. Once it's drip dry for a couple of hours or even a day, it should be completely fine to go ahead and eat, or just to look at if you'd rather do that. I hope you have a lot of fun.